Seriously, I've got a fix for Chicago and Detroit and some other cities, but we're going to focus on Chicago because they seem to have an immigrant problem. Now, this is a sanctuary city, and by declaring themselves a sanctuary city, they're saying that anybody who is what shall we call them? We can't call them the AI. We have to call them the migrants. Yeah, that's the word. Anyhow, people who climb over the wall without invitation. Those people are open or invited to live in Chicago without fear of being prosecuted. That's the whole idea behind a sanctuary city. Well, the problem is, they got too many of them. I thought just everybody was welcome. Apparently, there's a limit on that. You know, the huddled masses are yearning to be criminals. Some of them not. Some of them good people. I mean, I'd be there if I lived in Central America, South America, and I was having trouble making ends meet. Yeah, I'd climb over the wall. Who wouldn't? So don't blame the quote migrants unquote. But anyhow, there's an estimated 34,000 of them now in Chicago, and Detroit rather, and particularly New York City are having similar problems. I'm kind of looking at the news story on Fox as I'm talking here, but we bring this up because there is one individual who works for the city of Chicago. And she is saying that the city needs to end their sanctuary city status because it's not working. This is the problem with the woke left. They have these harebrained ideas, almost all of them rooted in Marxism. And they're theories. They have a hypothesis. And then they can't implement it. When they try to implement it, it doesn't work. And so they have these ideas like, everybody's welcome. Just send your migrants or whatever you want to call them into our jurisdiction, and we will welcome them. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Marxism doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work. Communism doesn't work. None of those things work. They're just theories. They're ideologies that when put into practice, they seem to always fail. And the woke left just can't seem to get their head wrapped around it. They're just totally, exclusively ideological, but the problem is if you disagree with them, they will fight you. So they fight what does work, and I'm going to tell you what works in just a minute. They fight what does work, and they implement what does not work, and that's what's happening in Chicago. Okay, now, just off the cuff here, I've got a suggestion for the governor of Texas. Instead of sending these, quote, migrants, unquote, to Chicago and New York, where we happen to be sending them, Governor Abbott, why don't you send them to Malibu, California? Those people got the big bucks, and it's a sanctuary city, so send 34,000 migrants to Malibu. I'm not sure they have 34 citizens in Malibu. I don't know what the population is. All right. So the story is that government employee Cata Tuss, it's spelled C-A-T-A, so I'm assuming it's pronounced Cata Truss, rather, told Fox News at night Democratic voters like her are growing increasingly frustrated with the party's handling of the issue. In other words, the sun is rising on the horizon. They're seeing the light for the first time, and they are amazed at what they're seeing. What they're seeing is their fake altruism. Actually, it's Marxism masked as empathy. It's not working. No, it's not working in Chicago. It's not working in New York. It's not working anywhere. She says this, quoting, "There is no monies to take care of the migrants, nor is there monies to take care of the people that are there. And so we have a mess on our hands, according to her. A big mess on their hands. All right, so yeah, we can go with that. She made the observation. We agree with her, and yeah, okay. Now let's go back over to the mayor of Chicago, a man by the name of Brandon Johnson. And he seems to have a solution. not for the migrant crisis, but for the crisis in the Middle East, this thing with Gaza and Israel, whatever. And so, simple solution. He just called for a ceasefire. Not that anybody's paying attention to him, but, what is he doing? Is he posturing? Is he trying to make himself look good? Yeah, okay, stop fighting. Yeah, I got it. Now, here's the problem. Why doesn't he try that in Chicago? I mean, the violence level at Chicago is, just over the top. Why doesn't he just call a ceasefire in Chicago? All the gangs, all the drug dealers, everybody's got a gun. All of them stolen, not all of them, but most of them stolen, many of them stolen. They're illegal, they're shooting each other. If I'm going to go out on a limb here, but if white people were to shoot as many black people as black people shoot black people, they would be called racist, which doesn't matter because they're called racist anyhow. I go out on a limb there because there's certain words that I think Google algorithm picks up on, and they don't like those words. So I'm trying to be careful what I say here. But Chicago has become famous, or infamous rather, I'm reading Fox News again, for its crime crisis. Fox News analyst, somebody Caldwell, who lost his 18-year-old brother, how tragic, to a 2022 shooting incident, has called his hometown an active war zone. I don't want to go there, Chicago. I don't even want to drive through it. I don't want to drive near it. I don't want to go to Chicago, Chicagoland. Don't want to go to Hammond, Indiana, Garrett, Indiana, East Chicago, Indiana. All of those are effectively suburban areas of Chicago. I just want to drive around it, maybe fly over it. I don't want to go to it. So Johnson has joined the progressives in calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Why do they call themselves progressives? They're regressives, but they're in denial. Everything for the woke left is backwards, saying the killings need to stop. But his remarks, the story says, didn't go over with conservatives when Chicago PBS reporter Heather Sharon shared them on social media. And here's what she said. Mayor Brandon Johnson joins the call for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war, saying that the killing needs to stop. Virtue signaling. I mean, everybody says that. After the deaths of 25,000 Palestinians, and supports the resolution of the city council did not vote on today. So I'm going to project here, looking in my crystal ball, they're going to vote in favor of this. I think the city council in Chicago is going to say, yeah, we need to cease fire. Not in Chicago, but we need to cease fire in the Middle East. All right, so what is the solution to all of this? I told you, I got a solution. It's kind of simple. What we need to do is we need to take note of people who are causing troubles. And then we need to ask ourselves this question. And again, I may get myself in trouble. But we need to ask ourselves this question: is this a heritable trait? Violence. Because we know psychopathy is a heritable trait. We just know that. It's science, Psychopathy includes the traits of not having empathy. So psychopathy in and of itself is not a bad thing. We need some psychopaths, seriously, because they make good leaders. But what if they are psychopaths who aren't too bright? Okay, then you got a totally different situation here. So my suggestion is that we would encourage people to make babies who are not psychopaths. How do you do that? Well, you find people who are not psychopaths, who are reasonably intelligent, and you encourage them to make babies. It's just that simple. So what happens in a generation, you have more adults who are nonviolent. Give you a good example of that. One of the low violent states in America is Hawaii. It's a democratic state. It is, I think it is the most diverse, racially diverse state in the Union, but it is one of the most ethnically diverse states in the Union, but it has a relatively low violence rate. And it's got something to do with the people who live there. Because, Japanese, whatever, East Asians, they just, they've got their moments. Pearl Harbor, speaking of Hawaii, They've got their moments, but by and large, socially, they're not violent. So what would happen if we encouraged nonviolent people to make more babies? And the people with violent traits, we quit giving them welfare. We don't support them if they have more babies. Okay, I'm going to get myself in trouble for saying that, but it works, And that is the thing about the woke left. They have this strange aversion to things that work, but they embrace things that don't work. And then they've got the audacity to call themselves woke. Woke to what? I've got no idea. If you found this video helpful, let us know. Join our family. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is a brand new YouTube channel. I had another one just like it, but I decided to start it elsewhere. So I don't even know if we have any subscribers. So you may be the first. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it, if you would please, on social media. And we'll see you all next time.